Your blood flow does not stop when you fall asleep, it drops. And between 2 and 4 in the morning, it hits the lowest point of your entire day. That is exactly why so many people over 60 wake up with numb hands, freezing feet, and leg cramps that rip them straight out of sleep. A 70-year-old man sat in my office last year. 3 times a night his calves locked up. By morning his hands were so numb he could not hold a coffee cup for the first 20 minutes. And here is the trap. His circulation tested perfectly fine at 10 in the morning. Nobody tests you at 3 a.m. And 3 a.m. was when his legs were starving. Here is the truth that stunned him. Your body uses something called nitric oxide to keep your blood vessels open. It is the signal that tells your arteries to relax and let blood through. And your body makes almost none of it while you sleep. After 60, that pathway breaks down even further. So you lie flat for 7 hours with barely any blood moving through your legs, your feet, your hands. Every night that happens, your vessels get a little stiffer. Morning stiffness, cold hands, cramps at 2 a.m. That is not aging. That is 7 hours of starvation, repeated night after night, for years. The fix is a compound called L-Citrulline, and no, it does not come in a pill worth taking. Swallow arginine capsules, and your gut destroys most of it before it ever reaches your blood. But citrulline slips past your gut untouched, converts in your kidneys, and feeds nitric oxide production for hours. Eaten in the right food, at the right time, it works through the exact window where your circulation collapses. I gave that man 7 citrulline-rich foods, no supplements. 4 weeks later, the cramps were gone, and he woke up with warm hands for the first time in years. Stay with me for number 1, because the most powerful part of that food is the part you have been throwing in the trash your entire life. Every study is linked in the description below. Before we start, tell me one thing in the comments. What is your age, and how cold do your feet get at night? I read every single comment myself, and I write back. Now let's start with number 7. Number 7. Chickpeas. Chickpeas might surprise you. Most people think hummus and never think about what these beans do inside your blood vessels. Beans and legumes naturally produce citrulline as part of a normal plant process called the urea cycle. A 2019 study in food chemistry tested 14 different legumes and found chickpeas ranked near the top for citrulline at roughly 0.2 to 0.5 milligrams per gram. That sounds small on paper, but chickpeas are a food you eat in big servings. One cooked cup weighs about 164 grams, so a single bowl adds up. They also deliver 474 milligrams of potassium and 79 milligrams of magnesium per cup. Both of those directly control blood pressure. A 2016 review in the Journal of Clinical Hypertension, covering 34 trials and over 2,000 people, found that raising potassium intake dropped top-number blood pressure by 3.5 points. Magnesium works alongside it by helping the muscle in your artery walls relax, which is exactly what you want overnight. Start with dried chickpeas instead of canned when you can. Soak them overnight for 12 to 14 hours, then cook them in fresh water until soft. Slow cooking protects far more of the free amino acids than the high-heat process used in canning. If you only have canned, drain and rinse them well, because the liquid is loaded with sodium that works against everything you are trying to do. Eat half a cup to a full cup about 2 to 3 hours before bed. Warm them with a drizzle of olive oil, a squeeze of lemon, and a pinch of cumin. Olive oil brings its own benefit. A 2020 study in antioxidants found it improved endothelial function by 7% in 4 weeks. Eat them warm, not cold. It digests easier and gets that citrulline into your blood right as you fall asleep. Now let's move to a food with a much bigger citrulline punch. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 7 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 6. Cantaloupe. Cantaloupe is a member of the gourd family, and it carries between 2.0 and 3.6 milligrams of citrulline per gram of flesh. That puts it in the same range as the strongest foods on this list. What makes cantaloupe special for nighttime blood flow is its potassium. 1 cup of cubes gives you 427 milligrams of potassium for only 54 calories. That ratio is one of the best in any food. Potassium is a natural vessel opener. It cancels out the tightening effect of salt. A 2017 study in the American Journal of Physiology found potassium raised nitric oxide availability by up to 15% in people eating a lot of sodium. So the potassium in cantaloupe boosts the effect of its own citrulline. 2 mechanisms in one fruit. It is also packed with beta-carotene, the pigment that gives it that deep orange color. Your body turns it into vitamin A, which keeps blood vessel walls strong. A 2014 study in the journal Atherosclerosis found higher beta-carotene levels in the blood were linked to a 32% lower risk of stiff arteries in adults over 55. Preparation could not be simpler. Slice it and eat 1 to 2 cups of cubes about an hour before bed. Room temperature or lightly chilled, not frozen, because freezing ruptures the cells and damages the amino acids. Pick melons that feel heavy for their size and smell sweet at the stem end. Riper fruit carries more of both compounds. A 2006 study from UC Davis found fully ripe cantaloupe had up to 28% more beta-carotene than fruit picked early. One bonus tip: squeeze fresh lime over your cubes. The vitamin C helps the nitric oxide your body makes stay active longer instead of breaking down early. Number 5. Garlic. Most people think garlic is just flavor, something you throw in a pan to make dinner taste better. But garlic is quietly one of the most powerful heart foods on the planet. Garlic does not have as much citrulline per gram as the other foods on this list. That is why it sits at number 5. Edited line. What makes it special is that it attacks poor blood flow from several directions at once. When you crush a raw clove, a chemical reaction creates a compound called allicin. Allicin directly tells your blood vessel walls to produce more nitric oxide. A 2013 review published in BMC Cardiovascular Disorders looked at 11 clinical trials with 734 people. Garlic lowered top number blood pressure by an average of 4.6 points and the bottom number by 2.8. That sounds small, but according to American Heart Association data, a steady 4 to 5 point drop cuts stroke risk by roughly 20%. Here is how to use it for nighttime blood flow. Take 2 or 3 raw cloves about 1 to 2 hours before bed. Crush them, then let them sit on the cutting board for 10 full minutes before you eat them. That resting time is critical. It lets the enzyme finish making allicin. If you cook garlic right after crushing it, you destroy up to 90% of the allicin before it ever forms. If raw garlic is too harsh on your stomach, mince it fine and stir it into a tablespoon of honey. The honey coats your stomach and makes it far easier to handle. You can also roast whole bulbs at low heat, around 150 degrees Celsius, for 40 minutes. A 2016 study in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found slow-roasted garlic keeps about 70% of its beneficial sulfur compounds. Aged black garlic works too, and it is the gentlest option of all. Consistency matters far more than quantity here. 2 or 3 cloves every single evening. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 5 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 4. Cucumber. Quick pause. If this is helping you, hit like and make sure you are subscribed. The next 3 foods are the strongest on the list. Cucumber is probably the most underrated food in this entire category. People treat it as water and crunch, a salad filler with nothing in it. That could not be more wrong. Cucumber is a gourd, which means it carries the same citrulline-making genetics as watermelon. Studies confirm it holds between 1.5 and 3.0 milligrams per gram. And a 2005 study in plant cell physiology found the skin and the flesh closest to the skin hold the highest concentration. So when you peel your cucumbers, you are throwing away the most valuable part for your blood flow. Here is where cucumber beats almost everything else. It has nearly zero sugar. A full cup of slices has under 2 grams, compared to over 9 grams in a cup of watermelon. That matters more than you think at bedtime. A 2015 study in diabetes care found that high evening blood sugar cut the normal nighttime blood pressure drop by an average of 4.2 points. Cucumber gives you the citrulline with none of that problem. So eat it whole and unpeeled. Wash it well, slice it into rounds or spears, and eat 1 to 2 full cucumbers 60 to 90 minutes before bed. If the skin bothers your digestion, drag a fork down the sides lengthwise before slicing. That breaks up the tough outer layer without removing the part you need. Pair it with a little healthy fat, a tablespoon of tahini, or a few slices of avocado. A 2018 study in molecular nutrition and food research found eating vegetables with a fat source raised overall nutrient absorption by up to 18%, and it slows the release so the citrulline feeds you through the night. Do this every evening. The effect builds over weeks, gradually training your vessels to relax more easily. Number 3. Walnuts. Walnuts stand out among all tree nuts for one reason. They carry meaningful amounts of both L-Citrulline and L-Arginine. That gives your body 2 separate roads to build nitric oxide while you sleep. A 2021 study in the journal Nutrients followed 708 older adults for 2 years. People eating 30 to 60 grams of walnuts a day showed real improvement in endothelial function. That is how well the inner lining of your blood vessels works. When that lining is healthy, it makes nitric oxide efficiently, and your arteries stay flexible. The same study showed a 3.2% improvement in flow-mediated dilation, the gold standard test for vessel health. Walnuts are also the only tree nut with a serious amount of plant omega-3. One small 28-gram serving gives you about 2.5 grams. That fights inflammation in your artery walls and helps stop the plaque buildup that slowly chokes off blood flow. A 2004 study in the journal Circulation found walnuts improved blood vessel widening by 64% in adults with high cholesterol. That is a remarkable number from a handful of nuts. Here is how to eat them. Grab 7 to 10 walnut halves about 90 minutes before bed, raw and unsalted whenever possible, because high heat roasting damages those omega-3 fats. If raw walnuts taste too bitter, soak them in water for 6 to 8 hours. Soaking pulls out the tannins that cause the bitterness and breaks down phytic acid, which blocks mineral absorption. Drain them and eat them plain, or blend them with a splash of tart cherry juice. The cherries bring melatonin builders that push you into deeper sleep, which is exactly when your blood pressure is supposed to dip. One last thing. Store walnuts in the fridge or freezer. Their high fat content goes rancid fast at room temperature, and rancid fat is the opposite of what your vessels need. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 3 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 2. Pumpkin. Pumpkin belongs to the gourd family, the same plant family that gives us the number 1 food on this list. That family connection is exactly why pumpkin is loaded with citrulline. These plants are among the highest natural producers of it in the entire plant kingdom. Research published in the Journal of Chromatography in 2005 measured pumpkin flesh at 1.3 to 3.5 milligrams of citrulline per gram. That puts pumpkin far ahead of garlic, walnuts, and chickpeas. But here is the part that really matters. Pumpkin seeds are rich in arginine, the amino acid that citrulline turns into. So when you eat the flesh and the seeds together, you are feeding both ends of the nitric oxide chain at once. A 2019 study in the Journal of Research in Medical Sciences found pumpkin seed oil dropped top number blood pressure by 5.1 points and the bottom number by 2.7 over 12 weeks in 60 women. Here is how to prepare it. Cube 1 cup of fresh pumpkin and roast it at 175 degrees Celsius for 25 to 30 minutes until soft. Roast it, do not boil it. Citrulline dissolves in water, and boiling can wash away up to 40% of it, unless you drink the cooking liquid as broth. Pair the roasted pumpkin with 2 tablespoons of raw pumpkin seeds. A 2017 study in the European Journal of Nutrition showed that combining a citrulline food with an arginine food raised nitric oxide markers 22% higher than either one alone. Eat this 1 to 2 hours before sleep. Canned pumpkin works fine, but make sure it says pure pumpkin, not pie filling. Pie filling is full of added sugar, and a sugar spike before bed blocks the natural nighttime blood pressure dip you are working so hard to create. Season it with cinnamon instead. Number 1. Watermelon. Watermelon is the undisputed king, and it is not even close. The word citrulline literally comes from citrullus, the Latin name for watermelon, because scientists discovered this amino acid in watermelon back in 1914. The red flesh holds 1.5 to 3.5 milligrams per gram, but the real treasure is the part you have been throwing away your whole life. The white rind contains up to 60% more citrulline than the red flesh. A 2005 study in the Journal of Chromatography confirmed the rind delivered the highest citrulline levels of any edible plant tissue they tested. The part you spit out or toss in the bin is the single most powerful blood flow food you can eat before bed. A 2014 clinical trial in the American Journal of Hypertension studied 40 adults with high blood pressure. They took watermelon extract, giving 6 grams of citrulline and arginine daily for 6 weeks. Aortic top number blood pressure fell by 7 points, and artery stiffness dropped 15%, with no change in diet, exercise, or medication. A separate 2012 study from Florida State University found watermelon cut ankle blood pressure by 15% during cold stress tests, the exact conditions that normally spike pressure and shut down circulation in your feet. Here is how to use it. Eat 2 cups of fresh watermelon flesh, along with some of the white rind, 1 to 2 hours before bed. Most people are not used to eating the rind, so make it easy on yourself. Cut it into thin strips and blend it into a smoothie with the red flesh, a squeeze of lime, and a few ice cubes. Or pickle the rind lightly in apple cider vinegar with a pinch of salt. Tangy, crunchy, and it keeps the citrulline intact. You can also juice the whole slice, rind and all. A 2015 study in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found citrulline from watermelon juice peaked in the blood within 1 hour. That timing is perfect for a bedtime routine. Choose deeply colored, fully ripe melons, because citrulline rises as the fruit matures. Seeded varieties test slightly higher than seedless, and eat cut watermelon within 3 to 4 days, because the citrulline slowly breaks down after cutting. No pills, no powders, just real watermelon with the rind, every evening, letting nature do what 112 years of science says it does best. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. And that is the list. 7 L-Citrulline-Rich foods that support your blood flow through the hours it needs help most. Every one of them is cheap, easy to find, and backed by real research. You do not need all 7. Pick 2 or 3, work them into your evening, and stay consistent for 4 weeks. Then pay attention to your hands and feet in the morning. That is where you will notice it first. If this helped you, hit that subscribe button so you do not miss the next one. Thanks for watching.